A non-governmental organization that advocates for the protection of children and vulnerable persons says it treated about 130 cases of child sexual abuse in the second half of 2019 alone. TVC News' Bukola Samuel Wemimo went to town to interview survivors and their guardians, even as she examines the reasons access to justice has remained an uphill task for survivors. She also brings a follow-up to the child sexual abuse case between the Alamazes and the Unwokochas earlier reported in June 2019.
Baby, who touched your bumper?
Your daddy.
Your daddy. Touch your bumper.
Daddy.
After that day, there is another day that I saw him. I had my baby on his lap. I don't know, he carried on a lap and she was naked. He was just shaking her on top of his thing. So I was like watching. So when I came out, so he was shocked. I was asking him that what happened? Why are you doing all this? That these kids are your children. Before you know, he got angry, he started quarreling. And he started
This
crying.
is not a dramatized audio. In fact, it's a recorded conversation between toddlers and a child rights advocate investigating the sexual abuse allegedly carried out on them by their father and witnessed more than once by their mother. The event was confirmed to us by a child advocate who effected the arrest of the alleged perpetrator and another, the executive director of Women's Rights and Health Projects, where the case was first reported.
She has observed attempts to the extent she cannot even leave these children with her husband. But she didn't take any decision. She still waited. She was still there until finally a day that the child couldn't, according to her, it was not very obvious. The man did it. He defied the child.
We got to Mirabel and we gave them the letter. The children were even discharging. They had the infection through the abuse. So, and she told me she had to go for treatment. They treated and gave them drugs.
Terry Iheme, who stands accused of defiling his daughters, a 3-year-old and another, a little over a year-old, is currently being remanded at the Ikorodu police station, while his wife has fled with the children, refusing to press charges because of the fear of reprisal by her husband's family. This woman, who volunteered her own experience on condition of anonymity, was not so afraid while she passed through her own ordeal. She tells me how her discovery of her husband's sexual abuse of their 9-year-old daughter over a 6-year period tore her marriage apart.
I gradually said, let me open the father's room. I opened the father's room. He was naked with his penis erect and with her sitting on his lap like this. I shouted because it's an eyesore. He quickly threw her out. I told him, she was shouting. I was entering your room. He dragged me in and closed his door. I pushed her out and slammed the door. And we started having heated argument that day. It was the only day he agreed. He said, yes, all the while what he told you was the truth. And let me tell you, it will not stop. I will not stop it. It's either you pack out with them and the woman that will take it will come and take your place.
Into my son's room.
Frank Alamazier, whose story I reported in June 2019, was my 4th respondent. He hasn't given up on his journey to justice. He blames the police for the quick escape of the alleged perpetrator, a former neighbor's wife, who repeatedly had carnal knowledge of his 14-year-old son.
Since you went to provide justice, to use whatever connection you have to trample upon us and to show us that you have people in the authority, and you failed. And even there, according to their report, they indicted the gender and the human rights. So coming back, they're supposed to have done the usual thing by arresting her. But they never did that. Only to find out the day we are supposed to go there, those people just packed out. So they know exactly, I'm very sure the gender, by virtue of coming back to them, must charge to court, which they must have inform those the perpetrator.
This amateur video of a popular cleric in Igondo, Lagos, was obtained covertly by child rights advocates. He is believed to have carried out the heinous crime in the community for years. But other survivors of child sexual abuse are not so fortunate because they lack the all-important evidence to back up their accusations. To confirm some of their claims about how the police officers handling these cases circumvent justice, TVC News requested that they make follow-up calls to them with the speaker button activated. Our second respondent, who pleads anonymity, put a call through to one officer, Rebecca, at the gender unit of the Lagos Police Command, while Frank Alamizie put a call through to one Inspector Laide, also of the gender unit of the command.
But you said 300,000 that time.
I don't know. That's what they told me. But they can talk to them one-on-one now.
Okay, that's what they told you. Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Police will call you as at when you please. That's the time they will call you. I've done what is expected of me to do.
When is when do? Because I wrote to reopen the case. So I don't know what is Commissioner of Police calling me as at when do. When you are supposed to start the case afresh.
The word police is not a name for an individual. It's a general name. Accusing the police who? Let him mention who he is accusing of complexity. Let that person be dealt with as a person. But as far as the police is concerned, the police command is concerned, which I speak for, we are doing our best to be sure that justice is done in this case.
In the interest of their personal, of making money, that's the pervert justice by covering up the perpetrators. They find a way to either give them less charge, and all this is not for free. Another matter like that, I was gang raped in Ikorodu. I gave the video of one of the boys with the girl, and the girl was half naked in a shop. But the OCJ, the officer in charge, the IPO, Kunle Urebe, released the 3 boys that he didn't see concrete evidence. I said, have you interviewed the complainant and the accused? Have you gone to the scene of crime? Have you done the proper investigation on your case? He said that is left to him. It's not questionable to me.
When confronted with the allegations against some of his colleagues, spokesman of the command has this to say.
You look at the facts before you and get the appropriate charge. Not the charge everybody is shouting. We are prosecuting. Okay. Cases are not won on social media. Cases are won in court based on evidence adduced.
Child sexual abuse or child sexual molestation is a secret crime involving a range of indecent sexual activities carried out by an adult on a child. According to a national survey on violence against children, 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 10 boys experience sexual violation before the age of 18. The Mirabel Center has spent the past decade working with victims by providing counseling and preparing evidence.
Our medical reports are very confidential. In fact, we wouldn't give it to clients. We will send our medical report ourselves through dispatch to the police station. So they know that medical report coming from the Mirabel Center is authentic. So if they have an authentic medical report, they might be limited in how much they can avert justice. So they say, okay, don't even go there.
Child defilement or sexual assault by penetration are offenses categorized as felony, and a charge for this class of offenses is supposed to be without bail. So why are alleged perpetrators often granted bail for these state crimes? This prosecutorial approach often makes the quest for justice costly and agonizing, especially when the accused persons are walking the streets free on bail. Charge sheets of accused also show that clear cases of defilement with evidence pointing towards penetration are given indecent sexual assault, which carries a punitive measure that is at best a slap on the wrist. A worthy case in point reported at the Akodo police station in Bejuleki is that of this 13-year-old girl defiled by her 26-year-old brother. She was taken to the Bejuleki General Hospital in a pool of her own blood. The alleged perpetrator, Sulaiman Yusuf, was charged with unlawful carnal knowledge but was let off the hook the same day. In spite of the defense of the police put forward by the Lagos Police Command in the handling of these cases, there remains many unanswered questions. From what you've heard and seen, there is strong reason to suggest that some police officers assigned to cases of child sexual abuse either align themselves with the accused for reasons of personal aggrandizement or constitute themselves as a clog in the wheels of justice, citing administrative bottlenecks, which are often disguised as investigative procedures. Consequently, every child may be in the danger of a predator lurking in the corner because a guardian positioned to bring a perpetrator to book does not act responsibly. Bukola Samuel Wemimo, TVC News.